What's up guys, it's Widgeon TV here. Both a nuisance and a very serious threat, the Scorchbeasts sits atop Appalachia's food chain. Their appearance in Appalachia has, in one way or another, silenced any kind of progress toward a stable and safe home for Appalachia's residents. The Brotherhood, Free States, the Responders, all forces working toward a greater good, all stamped out by the Scorchbeasts. So what are these flying apex predators? Who made them? And why were they released upon Appalachia? The Scorchbeasts story is tightly intertwined with Appalachia's. It starts way back when the bombs first fell on West Virginia. As many of you know, the remnants of the pre-war United States government survived in the White Springs bunker. Almost immediately after the bombs fell, they discovered that the nukes created a new mineral called ultracite. As they were searching for this new mineral in the caves of the Cranberry Bog, they collected a few bats for further study. Inside the White Springs bunker, in the genetics lab, we can find mutation Serum Terminal HZ, where we can learn more about the fate of these bats.
White Spring, automated recording, 5.4.8.
So, you're telling me we're responsible for this thing? It's what, a mutated bird? Some kind of vulture or something?
Mr. Secretary, based on the physiology, we're assuming something originating from the Chiroptera order before undergoing changes. Bats, sir. But it's not just a result of radiation, sir. The specimen was inadvertently exposed to our biochemical test last year, considered a failure at the time.
How dangerous is it?
We're still establishing that, sir. Its mere presence seems to contaminate the immediate surroundings with a...
Can we make more?
Sir?
Can we reproduce this? For the purpose of additional study?
With all due respect, sir, this potentially represents a grave threat to the personnel on site. And I'm not sure if this is...
I'm not asking for concerns. I want results. Do whatever you have to do. Keep this thing, study it, and report all your findings directly to me. Are we clear? And keep it off-site, where you found it, preferably. One of those old AMS mining complexes, yes?
Yes, sir.
And for now, let's not burden any of the officer corps with worrying about this. Understood?
In this recording, we can hear the Enclave's research specialist and the acting president at the time, Thomas Eckhart. We can hear them discussing the fate of possibly the very first Scorchbeast. It was said to have been created when exposed to a biochemical test 1 year ago. The scientist is urging caution because it contaminates its surroundings. We can assume the contamination is either heavy radiation or the virus that we know as the Scorched plague. Eckhart seems to have a plan for this mutated beast, though, and is demanding that the scientists make more. To understand why Eckhart might need these beasts, we need to learn a little bit more about his grand motivations. Now, we won't be going too deep into Eckhart's story because that's for a whole nother video, but Thomas Eckhart was the highest ranked officer in the White Springs bunker at the time that the nukes fell. Now, there is some evidence that this was planned, and Eckhart made sure the people ranked higher than him never made it to the bunker in time, but again, that's for a whole nother video. After losing contact with Raven Rock and the Poseidon oil rig, he assumed presidential powers. Up in the room where you take the test in order to join the Enclave, we can find a terminal where we can hear his first actions as acting president.
White Spring, automated recording, 1.1.7.
Ladies and gentlemen, the news is not good. It's my sad duty to inform you the Secretary of the Treasury has passed. Acute radiation sickness, it seems. This, in addition to the unexpected severance of our connection to Raven Rock and the President, means our little enclave is without leadership. According to the rules of succession, outlined long before our entry into this bastion, that responsibility now falls to me. I acknowledge the pain you all must be feeling. I see it on your faces, and I feel it in my heart. Loved ones lost. Colleagues gone. But now is not the time to allow ourselves to be overwhelmed by tragedy. This is the moment to recognize and seize the opportunity that lies before us. The world outside believes the war is over, that there are no more true Americans with the will to fight. They are wrong. We are going to fight. We will use this facility to continue the battle against our enemies, against communism, against all the wretched things that brought this war upon us. And we will, for once and for all, put an end to war. When we are victorious, there will be no more enemies left to stand against us. Of course, the rule of law still applies here, my brothers and sisters. The Enclave is the bastion of democracy and will remain so, I assure you. So then, let us vote. All in favor of using this facility and the resources of this land to continue the war that others believe lost, please move to the left side of the room. All who oppose, please move to the right. Well, there you have it. I'm sorry to see so many uncommitted to the cause of America. Mr. Gray here will help sort out accommodations for you all. Everyone else, please follow me down to the science wing.
Accommodations? What the hell's he talking about, Gray?
Not to worry, General. We have a plan for you all. Modus, seal the room.
The room is sealed.
What? What the hell is...
So as you heard, nothing is going to stop Eckhart from waging war on America's enemies, and will clearly do anything necessary to accomplish that goal. After seizing power, his focus switches to the nuclear silos, because obviously the easiest way to bring fiery destruction to the Chinese is Appalachia's nukes. In the command center's armory, we can find the archival terminal. On this, we can discover some of the challenges that they faced. Data archives. Archive Ellen Santiago. Tricking DEFCON. This is a tricky one. We've got a nuclear keycard 1. If something goes wrong during the launch, fat fingers, you sneeze, whatever. We're up Schitt's Creek, and no one has been able to get a bead on a keycard convoy for a while. But Jackson's been going through the documentation, and he believes he's parsed out what's happening. The specifics get a little technical. The man ended up burning through 3 sticks of chalk trying to explain it to me, but the abridged version is that the system tasked with watching over the region doesn't think things are bad enough to warrant the convoys. This also explains why the DEFCON signage in the bunker has all been slipping downwards. But if we could trick the system into thinking there was some sort of invasion here, we could get its undivided attention, along with all the keycards we could ever need. Now, staging an invasion, well, we don't have the resources to do that ourselves, and it sounds like spitting up an army of Modus's butler bots won't make it bat an eyelash either. But Gray, sick puppy that he is, has an idea. If we could get into the Chinese robot factory at Mama Dulce's back up and running, we might be able to make the system think the region's under attack. It might make things dicey for folks outside the bunker, but it'd be a big step in getting us up to launch. Now, I'm sure you're thinking the same thing that I am as I type this. Is a group of belligerent spy bots running around going to be enough? And if it's not, what is the president willing to resort to in order to guarantee the success of the launch? This has slippery slope written all over it. I wanted to bring this to you now, as I guarantee Gray has already planted the idea in the president's head, and I'm not thrilled with the prospect of putting Appalachia through hell just so we can finally win this war. But if we can do this in a managed way, this might be our best way forward. So Eckhart needs enough conflict outside of the bunker in order to trick the automated system into thinking that the nukes are required. This happens at DEFCON 1. As you heard from the terminal, they're going to try to stage a mock invasion by using Mama Dulce's communist robots. In the terminal, doubts were raised if this plan was going to work or not, and we'll learn here in a second that it did not. Up in the conference room above the communications room, we can find a discussion between the now General Santiago and Thomas Eckhart discussing his next move.
White Spring. Automated recording. 6.9.7.
No, Mr. President. I don't agree and I won't support it.
General Santiago, may I remind you...
You know, I'm real sick of you calling me that.
Why? You earned it. You're the highest-ranking military officer here. Maybe in the nation.
It was given to me by a machine.
And you still received every bit of power that came with it. And now, it's time to put that power to use. Because that's our mission.
Releasing Chinese robots and super mutants and whatever monsters your people have cooked up on the populace at large has never been the mission.
I want to do this as little as you, Ellen. But we've tried half measures. If we're going to overcome DEFCON, we need to be committed.
No! This is too far, Thomas. I thought I could ignore all the blood you've shed. The Congress people, Blackwell, your fellow Enclave members. I've heard the recordings, and I stayed, because I thought I wanted revenge against the Reds that badly. But not this badly. And I assure you, my men don't either. None of us are going to be a party to this.
I'm exceedingly disappointed to hear it, General.
What the hell? What the... What did you...
Are you all right, Mr. President?
I'm fine, Modus. Call up the guard. One of my men. Have her put in a cell. Keep her sedated, restrained, and alive. We're still going to need her.
So Eckhart was going to let loose not only the Chinese robots and super mutants, but also the Scorchbeasts, in order to trick the DEFCON system into thinking there was enough danger outside the bunker to warrant the use of the nuclear bombs. So, did he do it? Did he release the carrier of the Scorched Plague onto the remaining citizens of Appalachia? Yes, he did. In the brig, which lies in the military wing, we can find confirmation of this.
White Spring. Automated recording. 8.5.2.
You sure you gave her the right shit? We don't have time to screw around here.
The label said it's the right stuff. Just give it a second.
We don't have a second. They're gonna be onto us soon.
What's going...
Sir, we need you on your feet. We're short on time here.
Ragnar's daughter? Jackson? What the hell?
Glad to see your brain's not totally fried, sir.
Here's the quick version, sir. Eckhart's released the beast. We're at DEFCON 1. We're gonna stop him and undo as much as we can before it gets out of hand. But first, we need you on your feet.
Good God. How long have I been out?
Doesn't matter right now. We're in open revolt mode here, so time ain't on our side.
I didn't authorize anything like this.
No, sir, you did not. But at this point, we don't really need your approval. Could just use a few extra hands to help us clean up this mess.
Lead the way, Captain.
"He has released the beasts, and we're at DEFCON 1, said the Major. So Eckhart did it. He released the Scorchbeasts and raised DEFCON to 1. So in his pursuit of revenge, Eckhart went to the extreme and let loose a plague that silenced all human life in the region. Alright, I think I will be making a video focused on Thomas Eckhart's story specifically. His rise and fall from power is an interesting story to be sure. But for now, that's all I have on the creation of the Scorchbeasts. I hope everybody enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you've made it this far in the video, consider joining my channel's membership. You get a cool little cryptid symbol next to your name when you comment, and it goes a long way in supporting my channel, so thank you. Also consider following me on Twitter. It's the best place for me to keep in contact with you guys. But anyway, this has been Woodgen TV. Thanks for watching, guys.